my managers sits in your company, acts like your head of HR, right, and takes charge of all the HR affairs. Right? Now, based on the size of company, the number of people you need under them might vary. So, for a slightly larger number of people, you might need a little more number of juniors. We call them plug pals. So, there's one HR head and a couple of managers down. So, manager is one part of it. Then we have our own model called PH8, which covers 8 areas of HR: org design, compensation planning, hiring, induction, performance management, around which we have created the most logical workflow, supported with templates, documents, know-how on how to go about doing it. Right? So that becomes a framework of how an HR head should begin in an assignment. What should he do in first 2 weeks? What should he do in first quarter? What should he do in first 6 months? And if you want to do, let's say, an org design, what do you do exactly? You know, this is one of my favorite questions to a lot of HR people who come. They say, okay, you want to do org design? Say, yeah, we will do this, we will talk, we will discuss. I said, show me the first row item and first column item. What's the first Excel you will make? What will be the first row item? What will be the first column item? That's where game gets stuck, right? We are talking is fine. You begin by doing something, right? So those kind of tools we have built in. So HR managers don't have to really struggle and figure out. And a lot of things they might not have done in their assignments, but with the help of a framework, they able to do that. So that's the second component. And the third pillar of services, what we call is plug HR rhythms. So they are reporting rhythm. So we have a daily operations call at 9:30. All national operations team comes together and people talk about where they are, what's happening in the environment, and do they need any help. Then there's a weekly Friday report which comes. Then every alternate Saturday we do Saturday school, where it's a 4 hour of training session. Some attend physically, some attend through webinars, but it's simulcasted everywhere on areas of HR and project management and our kind of HR. Then we have a monthly CEO Connect, quarterly calendar setting, and once in 6 months we do our boot camps where all national team comes together and we just party for 3 days. And of course, learn and whatever we do. So these rhythms, so managers, framework, and rhythm. If we put all these three together, when you sign up for a plug HR department, all three come together, right? So you get your resource, you get methodologies which are standardized and practiced all over, plus you also get a supervisory mechanism. So if you are traveling, you are not top of things, you don't want to supervise HR day on day, right? We are supervising it day on day.
Do you specialize for any particular industry or?
No, it's fine. You've got more than 5-10 people, right? Basically, the moment you start hiring beyond family, you need HR, right? So we say we are fine. See, so entrepreneurship is same, right? So in terms of that prioritization, etc. And you can always pick industry people for HR if you need. If we see the need, we hire. Sometimes we do the contra. We say we don't want another manufacturing guy doing manufacturing. There's enough people, right? Already. So let's get somebody who doesn't understand these constraints and freely will operate. So based on that, we do that. We also change managers over time. So there are companies which are running on us for last 4 years, right? So when they started, challenge was different. Different team work. Second year, the game changed. So we didn't want to really stretch the resource and just assume that it will work. We'll say, let's pull this out, pull this guy out. This guy already on 3 assignments like this, so he will save your time. See, in entrepreneurship, it's not an endless game, right? You got a timeline. You say, okay, this is where I start, this is where I reach. There's a whole business plan which has to be achieved. So it's not a learning exercise for everyone. It's saying, okay, this is the other line. Now do we cross the line? So for that you need people who have done it and who are experienced and who will take it there, not keep experimenting again and again.
There's some question.
Yeah, these days you get a lot of resumes and it's very difficult to screen the candidate because the resumes are so beautifully typed.
Yeah.
And if you question the basic things that they fail to answer, and then it's very difficult to manage like that because you call them for interviews and they come and then you find that it's all kachara. They don't know anything. But the resume is so beautifully typed.
Yeah.
So how do you say cope up with this kind of the problem?
So I don't read resumes at all. Right? When somebody applies, so if you go to Plug HR, there's a section below on Plug HR site called work with us or something like that. Join the gang. Right? If you click on join the gang, there's a small questionnaire which opens. If it just asks you, whatever your name, details, etc. We ask them to just cut and copy their Facebook URL. So if you just want to see, we don't ask for login password. We don't think this is right, but we want to go to their Facebook page and see what kind of conversations are they doing. And we go to their LinkedIn page and see who they are connected to, what's their company. See, that's how you find people, right? That's how we used to find friends, saying that who are they friends with, right? So what's the company they keep? So if that's the kind of company they keep, there's a high chance that they are keeping him or her. There would be some semblance. So that's what we look for. Then there are some pointed questions we ask, like we say, what about your education, right? So we say, have you studied HR and others? We don't want to know whether you're an engineer, whether you are other, whatever, it doesn't matter. So we don't read everything which we don't require. We say, have you studied HR and have you studied others? Right? If you not study HR, you say others. Then we say, what's your travel? So we ask for a travel profile. So there are 3 choices already given. We don't ask you to fill your thoughts. We say these are 3 choices. You travel only if there's a need only within this in. You travel extensively, you have traveled internationally. Then we say, how much do you read? So only course books, you read the bestsellers, or you read extensively, you look for work. Now see, reading bestseller and the guy who reads a non-bestseller are 2 different kind of people, right? Anybody can read bestsellers. People don't read bestsellers because they love reading. People read bestsellers because they don't want to be left without having read it. But have you read something which was not a bestseller? Can you name one book which nobody in this room would have heard of, but you read it, right? And there was a reason why you read it. There's a reason why you liked it, and there's a reason why you recommend it. You tell me, read Who Moved My Cheese. I mean, come on. Yeah. Now there's a difference between these 2 profiles. So the guy who says that I read, I hunt, I dig, I look for corners, I go to the shop, I still pull out the book which I want. That's the guy I want to meet. He's searching for something, right? He's got the capacity to chase what he wants, right? He's not going to ask you, you tell me what should I read. If you say you read this, okay, so I go and buy that. They are 2 different profiles. So you will need to get that clarity of saying what is it that 5 things you want to ask, right? Build that form, whether offline or an SMS or whichever way. So your application can say that, listen, you like this ad, you want to apply. These are the 5 questions. Please send the answers to this number on SMS. Don't read any resume. Just read those 5 answers. Those answers will tell you who do you want to call. So make a list. It would have come from a mobile phone. You know the mobile phone number, right? Then you shortlist. Then give it to the executor saying that line up these 8 people for me. See, the problem happens is that the first screening is done by the most junior most person who has no idea what you're looking for, right? So he has already rejected all those who would have fitted in and sent for who will get rejected. So just imagine the kind of cost. That person is wasting his or her time completely. After that, they are wasting your time completely. Just reverse this. The first screening should be done by you. If you are an entrepreneur, you do the first screening. You send that shortlist to your recruiter saying that talk to these 8 people. And you ask your recruiter to talk to the 8 people after you have spent time with the recruiter explaining what should be said about the company. Right? And so in our company, any recruiter who joins, who is hiring for us, the first call comes to me, assuming that I am the candidate, and the first job is pitched to me about Plug HR. If I am comfortable about what she is saying, then I authorize to start talking to the candidates. If nobody can pick up the phone, start talking to candidates, right? I don't know, they're going to throw my brand completely in the ditch, right? So I don't want to give it in the hand of somebody. See, you won't give a gun to a person who is not trained, right? He's going to shoot you back. So you have to be very careful. Hiring is a top subject, it's not a bottom subject, it's the top subject. They're going to run your company. So you want vacations or not depends on whether you're able to hire good people or not. So if I have to keep playing guitar, I have to make sure that I give enough attention on hiring. Yeah, so here you got that?
Yes.
Very simple. 5 questions which you want people to answer, by which you will judge are they your type or not. That's simple. Put it wherever. Offline, form, SMS, whichever.
There are 2 questions. One is that you decided that you will take people only if they are taking salary. Now there must be some conviction in you that this can, because there is some element of, or some or good element of audacity and asking people to take a cut.
Right.
So what was the conviction? What was the thought process that made you believe that yes, I will be able to take a team or good team with this kind of cut, and everywhere people can see the trade-off, because they won't, if there is no trade-off with that, they won't join. And second was, you went ahead with having a CEO, not for just playing guitar, maybe something else. And it is like some part of your baby you are parting with. What was the thought process in that?
Why I insisted on cut? I can think of some three key reasons why. One is, when I look at myself as a leader of people, I realize that I am bad at leading a team which is not passionate, or which is not passionately connected to the subject. So I am bad at that. I can't lead a team which is actually coming to just do the job and then go, because there's going to be so many instances where on a day-to-day work I expect a high degree of passionate involvement. So if that goes missing, I just don't know how to lead a team. So in that sense, I am not the greatest manager in my own opinion, right? And I am very hands-off. So I don't see, how you're doing, etc. I don't care. I give you the job, you do it. And if you fail, I will again do it. I don't mind doing it because you failed, right? But I won't do it with the fear that you might fail. I'll do only when you fail, right? If you fail, I'll do it. And I'll say it doesn't matter, right? Which means it's a very hands-off thing. Now, for you to be able to carry it means, unless you are very, very strongly attached to the subject, you will drop it. You will not be able to live up. And so I'll have to then keep firing. So to avoid that, I think I realized that I can deal with people who are very passionately connected. The only way I could figure out I can measure that was that if somebody is taking a drop in compensation and still joining you, there's a very high chance there is something is working apart from money. Right? He wants to really do this job. Right? I couldn't find any other method. I could have asked him that, are you here for money or for job? I thought everyone will say I'm here for job, and then be happy with 30% raise, right? So there's no way to verify. But if I say take a 30% cut, if you are not for job, you could not come anyways, right? Why will you come? You will not even come. So that solves my problem. Then you are on job, you know you got it already taken a cut, so for some reason, so might as well do that reason now.
What's the trade-off that you have seen, or you could actually make them realize?
No, so trade-off is so the way I handle a trade-off is twofold, okay? In long term, we all want to kind of make this big and everyone should get rich, right? That's fine. But you can get rich any other way, right? I mean, this is not the only way to get rich. In fact, this is the most painful way of getting rich, right? You can just buy property, land, etc., whatever. There are much more easier ways in India to get rich, right? The other thing I try to convince people is that listen, it doesn't cost all that much anyway to live life. I mean, how much money will you accumulate? I mean, if you keep asking 30% raise, 30% raise, 30% raise, and you say, I couldn't do my dream job, I couldn't do my dream job, one day you retire, you could never do your dream job. Because your dream job was always coming lower, right? I played guitar in Singapore in a basement, in a subway. I just sat with what in India we would have called a beggar. I sat with him. I played the guitar, right? I mean, and whatever money people were throwing, I mean, he was kind enough to tell me, hey, listen, you are playing, you can pick it up. So I told him that's okay. I just played it for the fun of it, right? So you can pick it. I mean, these are not paying things. A lot of things you want to do in life, not everything will pay you the top dollar. But how many years will you put behind doing things? You will turn 60, 70, 80, after that you will say, hey, listen, I would never do what I wanted to. What you wanted to do, you will always have to do trade-off. It's not my trade-off, it's your trade-off. If you want to still make money and do things you don't like, you're welcome, keep doing that. But if you studied HR in life, right, this is the job you always wanted to do. Run end-to-end HR for an entrepreneur, like a partner. That was your dream, right? Only 10% of HR professionals will ever become VP of HR. Only 5% of them will ever partner with an entrepreneur in running a business. Here, that job is entry-level job, guaranteed. You start your job in Plug HR as a VP of HR, as a partner of an entrepreneur, building a business. That's where the game starts. And when you, by age, you will be still 30 or less. What will you expect? Whatever. If you fail here, you will become a VP of HR somewhere with fat salary. No downside at all. right? But as long as you are here, we will challenge you. We will cross every question. We will push you against the wall to innovate, to do things differently, new. That experience you won't get even if you pay. So salary cut is a very, very easy trade-off. And give 5 years, no? I mean, so the money making will remain, right? You can always go back. So when I asked my wife saying, what's the risk associated with venturing? She said, what's the risk? If you fail, you'll become a highly paid CEO somewhere. So where is the risk? What's the risk? But at least you do this for 5 years, you will always go back as a different person and money will stop mattering to you as long as your needs are set. And you don't need 20 lakhs to meet your needs in India. Come on.
As a startup, you always need to hire people who are much more smarter than you. Okay. The biggest problem with the startup guys are they want to hire the best of the guys who need the best of the packages, but they want these best guys to build up a company. For example, I'm just giving an example. On my LinkedIn connection, I have Ravi Venkatesan, the ex-chairman of Microsoft India. Okay. Okay, on the LinkedIn is great, you talk to him and all. Suppose you want that guy to work for you and you have an exciting proposition, chances are 80% he may say yes to you. Okay. Now you need an HR person to be able to put your point across, to put across things that are going to matter to him, going to matter to this company. And I think most of the biggest companies, maybe it's Microsoft or Apple or all this, or even Google, these are all built with the first quote in which is the best of people. And Microsoft people left their jobs with a low and joined Microsoft almost as a very lesser 50% less. If you read the book Hard Drive. So this is the problem which most of the startups feel everywhere in the world. Is there something which you could do to bridge this gap and kind of see how things can work and get things across to meet both the ends? Most of the funds are also venture funded, but depends on how it goes.
So see, at startup stage, I don't think you need to send the HR guy, to talk. I mean, you're chasing a celebrity girl, right? You want to propose marriage to her. Will you send somebody? I mean, it won't work.
That's not good.
You have to chase.
You can chase Katrina Kaif and say be my brand manager. That's great. I'm going to be a billionaire in 5 years.
You have to chase. I'm saying, as an entrepreneur, you've got to chase. So if Ravi is who you want, right, you should be there with Ravi. Right? With Ravi, it's not your HR person. HR person will not cut it, right? You will cut it. People will work because they're excited about what you're doing. So at a startup stage, it's you. Everything else, process is fine, system is fine. But hiring top talent, right? That's the entrepreneurs. They will work because they were so excited having met you that they want to meet with you more and more and spend more time and. Right? And they have achieved, they've got their money, they've got everything else. They need great people to work with. I mean, that's their aspiration. So play on that, right? So, I mean, your HR is going to do it the other round, right? So go yourself.
So, I think we'll end here. But I'll just point to one thing. You heard him talk about what he would say to people, right? An answer to that question. And you would work for him right now if you were an HR. But I'm not saying it laughing. You heard the passion and the case he made. Eventually, it just comes down to that. Sure. You don't need a trick.
Yeah, absolutely. And so there's one more thing is worth noting, and it's all my experience. See, please trust me. I mean, I've just started entrepreneurial journey, so I'm not saying this from a standpoint of saying that this is what everyone should do. I did that; it worked for me. Right. People want to work with winners, right? Now, but the game is still not over. So how do you decide who's a winner? Right? I mean, the game is starting. So how do you prove that you are a winner? This is true that you want to work for winner, but that's a post-fact thing, na? I mean, winner will decide after 7 years, right? Till then there is running. Now, how do you, in a running team, how do you decide who's the winner? You decide basis who appears to be a winner. That's the perception. It's very extremely important to understand that a large part of the world actually works on perception. Whether you will win or not, time will tell. But today, do you appear to be winning or not is what anyone can tell today. Right? So, as an entrepreneur, what is extremely important for you that even if you are able to hire good people, you will need to keep giving them an appearance of a winner all the time, from day one. Right? I was very clear, day one Plug HR was a brand, we were never a struggler. Day one, with no client, we were still a brand. We still were proud of the fact that we don't have an office. And we don't need an office to create high performances. We are extremely proud of that fact that this is called capability. If you got every resource in the world, you got every machine in the world, then you create an outcome. What is that capability? Capability is that can you survive? You got one backpack, you are in the jungle, no rations. Can you pull a win? That's capability, right? So less resources is a great advantage. Great advantage. It will give you pride. It will give your brand the strength. And every time you succeed, even if it's a smaller success, it's a huge achievement because you are running with so little backup, and that's what you should be able to celebrate and make people excited about it. That's what they will care about. That's what will connect them. Right? And whatever you can do, talk, go to forums, etc. It tells your people. I see my people are happy that I'm coming and talking here, right? And so they feel happy, right? That the people are going to listen about plug HR. So they go back and they tell their parents, hey, listen, Prashant is today in Pune talking about plug HR. So their parents feel reassured, saying that okay, company seems to be doing fine. Right? So they don't come back to them saying, hey, अरे boss तो बीच में शादी करनी है अगले साल ये कहाँ पड़े हो? Yeah.
Would like to, on behalf of TiE Pune, I would like to firstly thank our today's guest, Mr. Prashant Bhaskar, for taking us through a wonderful journey. Thank you very much, Prashant, and I know most of them are eager to take guitar lessons also from you. Yeah. Okay, I would like to thank Mr. Vishwas Mahajan for introducing us about TiE Pune and welcoming us. Gaurav Mehra, thank you very much for being a wonderful facilitator. I would like to also thank the sponsors, that is Clarion Venture Partners and Cosmos Bank. Now I would request Mr. Ajay Bhagwat to present a memento to Mr. Prashant Bhaskar. Thank you, Ajay. Thank you very much all for participating in today's event. We at TiE would like to invite all of you to participate in coming events. That is, first event which we will have after this is the breakfast session on the 10th of this month. That is on optimizing constraints for entrepreneurs. Then we have a half-day workshop on search engine optimization and Google AdWords on Saturday, that is 12th of May. We'll have again one more My Story session on the 18th, Friday, and again a breakfast session on the 24th of May. So these are the events which are lined up in this month. Last but not the least, I would like to thank the charter members, Mr. Ajay Bhagwat, Mr. Ankur Agarwal, Gaurav, and Mr. Vishwas Mahajan. I would like to request all of you to fill up the forms which you have got, the feedback forms, and please hand it over to Ruma, and request you to become a TiE member by joining the TiE. And just mentioned by Mr. Vishwas Mahajan about the volunteering survey link, please fill up so that we can get the feedback and insights from you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much.